Welcome back, everybody. FSB Racing Friday night Winston Cup action from the Lady in Black. The track too tough to tame, or as I used to call it when I hated it, the evil egg. It's Darlington Raceway in historic Darlington, South Carolina. I'm your host, Shawn Reap, and my partner in crime finally joined me up here in the booth. I think he was having too much fun hanging out in the driver's meeting. Milt Minter Jr., how you doing, buddy? Milty's not coming through. Is your headset muted, Milty?
I stepped on my headset again.
Oh, you gotta stop it, man.
Darlington, oh Darlington. Man, this track is scary, dude. You gotta drive right up against the wall. But it's exciting, thrilling. This is one of my favorite tracks of NASCAR.
One of my favorites, yeah. One of my favorites, and this is actually where I've had, one of the few, the handful of tracks where I have the most success at, too. So every time we're here, I'm just itching to get out there and join them. Yeah, it should be definitely an interesting race tonight. Very tough to pass on. It's a very narrow racing groove, despite being, looking like, I mean, look at that track. It looks huge, right? Ooh, cut off my hand there. It looks huge out there, but that's because it was designed for racing down on the flat. They thought the banking back then in the 50s was going to be a runoff, a safety feature. And then cars started going up there and they're like, hey, this is pretty fast. And so this was considered at the time NASCAR's first super speedway, if you can believe it. And now we think of super speedways as Daytona and Talladega. Much, much faster places. But it's still fast. You get a big sensation of speed. Like I said, it's got a very narrow racing surface.
You do, yeah.
And this version of it,
I love the rush.
They've added a safer barrier, so they took a couple feet away from that. So it's even tighter. Even though these are the 1988 cars, this is the 2011 safer barrier version of the track. And other thing different from when the track was built is it was flipped the other way. But it's currently 1 and 2. Used to be 3 and 4, and that's where you would get your Darlington stripe, because that turn goes more than 180 degrees, and they would kind of lean on the guardrail on the outside on purpose. That's how you knew you were going fast enough. And then the tighter, higher banked turn was 1 and 2.
A bunch of side notes to this race. I wasn't just, drinking everybody's beer. I was listening to the driver meeting,
I know.
And very professional and as usual, and the way it always is, and just reminding the drivers of the peculiarities of this track, especially under caution, carrying your momentum, and then but slowing down on the back straight, getting bunched up so everybody has a fair chance to pit under caution. Just little stuff like that. Like last week, I think there was a couple 2-incident rule violations, which happens a lot. Guys aren't sure. And so you take your lumps and some restart problems, but just like any league, I mean, do you guys watch the real guys? They make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. See how many cars they tore up at Daytona and Speed Weeks?
But that's why this league is the way it is, because of that type of professionalism. As I just watched Mark DeCenza purposely run in the back of Fox Marcus because it's not the race yet. So
yeah, it's happy hour and it's winding down. There's a minute left in happy hour out here, so let's get through the starting grid quick as we can here. We got Jordan McGregor continuing his hot streak. He's on the pole with the number 30 car. Rick Johnson,
Mr. Darlington.
Crossed the finish line first on Tuesday night.
Oh, by the way, that's my pick.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I wanted to put the jinx on him, but okay, you can take it. Then I'm going to take Matt Watkins. If you're going to cheat and take Rick Johnson, I'm taking Matt Watkins, the 35.
Well, he used to live right down the street. He used to drive by
you're thinking of Dover.
Going to work.
You're thinking of Dover, but he's really good here, too.
No, that's Matt Watkins.
Oh, Matt Watkins,
Rick,
too.
Yeah, not Rick, Matt.
Yeah, Rick used to live by Dover.
He's from South Carolina.
Yes, he is. Ken Hansen, good qualifying effort there in the 9 car, the Bill Elliott Coors beer can. Slim Jim Gately, Rick Bisconner, he's always very fast here at this track, and he's usually good on strategy here too, so he's a good dark horse to watch tonight.
Absolutely.
Number 3 of Mark DeSenza, Pops Margison, claims to hate this track, but there he is, a nice top 10 qualifying effort
He
in
hates
the
every
99.
track.
He hates every track and then goes and beats the doors off you.
Then qualifies in the top 10.
Ryan Johnson, your series admin. Man, he's one of the hardest working admins we got here in FSB. He putting on this is our big night. This is our marquee series, and he's very on top of all the reviews and keeping things running. So give a shout out to Ryan Johnson there in the 9 car, 59 car starting 9th rather. Brian Lamb puts the 09 10th. Johnny Doucette, Rick Castle, Diamond Dave Simons returns to us tonight in the 02 car.
Diamond Dave
There is Brian Lamb on the track in that 09 Penske machine, getting a little loose there. But when you see car, everybody's trying to practice those pit stops last second, and you can see how treacherous it is as Brian Lamb does a full 360 there, and I don't think he actually hit anything.
I always liked pitting on the back straight coming in and driving it as hard as I could, and then letting it drift out under the apron so I wouldn't get hit in the rear. And that's probably archaic, but it worked for me, you know.
And it's going to be even tougher for these guys pitting under green in the race because your tires are going to be just eaten alive. That's another quirk about this track. It's a Carolina track, so that it just eats the tires up.
Look at that 360 by the Southern California man there, Brian Lamb.
Yeah, that was some style points right there. Wrapping it up real quick, the 007, Dan Jones, who snuck into the... Oh, he's back down again. He was in our booth. My Canadian teammate has returned to Friday nights again, and he's in the 14th spot. Steve Weber, John the Dog Palmer, and Brad Otto rounding out your qualifying time turners. And then you got guys who chose to not qualify: Joe Sharon, Bill Yarborough, Dennis Chambers, Jeff Habbock, Dan Irvine, Ed Fowler, Dan Francesconi. I don't think he's going to start this one. But
listening to Joe after watching the watch party after the race with the drivers, very interesting and character, man, cool.
He's got paint finally this event.
Yeah, I downloaded that.
All right, so your last car on the grid is Dan Irvine. That's the last car that didn't qualify.
Well, I got Rick Johnson. You got Matt Watkins. No brainer picks there. These two studs are the class of the field, but they can be beat.
I think someone missed the start, and it looks like Ryan.
3 out of 4. Okay, looks like we're having a restart.
Yeah, we have a restart. Someone probably didn't make the grid there or got dropped on the session change.
How about that guy in that 23 winning 3 out of 4?
Yeah, he's the hottest driver in on Friday nights right now. Slim Jim Gately in the 23. Yeah, I think it was Joe Sharam who missed the start.
Well, I think I need to get another beer then. I'll be right back.
Hey, I got Barrett McKay checking in the chat. Thanks for joining us again, Barrett. This is Shepherd Hardware Products. Pontiac Grand Prix. That's like that old 2+2 Grand Prix, the mid-'80s version there, going on the Monte Carlo body. I think that car was insanely loose. Didn't have any air hitting the rear spoiler, but that doesn't matter in this game. They're all basically the same thing.
Also, I got word from Bill Yarborough in the pits. He's going to take 1 or 2 laps and park it. He's having severe issues with vision. He says it's because he's old, but he's leading the points championship, and he's going to take some points and get out. He says he can't see the cars or track. I don't know if that's a computer issue or...
Some people need to crank the gamma up on this track. You can see it's a little darker.
Well, I was asking him about that, but Ken Soska in the house, Darlington.
Hey, Ken.
That's my teammate right there. There's no way he would miss that. But then he's going to probably run like 4 or 5 races till like 4 or 5 in the morning back there in Florida. The guy's an Iron Man, man. Iron Man, man. There we go. Here we go. South Carolina, the Lady in Black. The track that was too tough to tame.
Jordan McGregor leads us to green. You see that flag comes out real late here on the initial start. There's this huge looking front straightaway.
Already going backwards, just trying to get out of the way. Whoa, boy, close contact there with the 3 and the 9, and they touch again. Nice
Slim shot up the track,
Great
too.
job on those guys. That was bad. Mark had a run there, and cold tires. Ken had to keep it out of the groove and then lift. We'll do some in-car here of what this track is like.
Yeah, once we get settled in here.
I was talking to my co-worker. He's all excited about getting into sim racing, and he's supposed to be watching the broadcast tonight. And maybe under caution and stuff, we can talk a little bit about wheels, steering wheels, Shawn, because you're a smart guy.
Meanwhile, we're on board Slim Jim here as he settles in and pursues the 52 car of Rick Johnson. I'm talking through at least what my approach is here. We're coming off of turn 4, the former turn 2, and turns 3 and 4 are the tighter of the two. Here's turns 1 and 2. You can flat-footed here on fresh tires. I don't recommend it because you'll wear them out too quick. So you want to crack the throttle a little bit, get down the bottom, float up, then pull it back down, kind of take what's called a diamond approach, double apex the corner, carry your speed to the backstretch, then trail brake. A little bit of throttle, never get fully off of it, carry the brakes into the turn, settle it, hug the bottom, and power off.
Okay, let me talk a lap here. We're in the car. Okay, here you just lift, right? You get right by the white line there.
Just a crack.
Roll up to the outside. Then you pick the throttle back up again right here and get on it. Slim's on the inside here. Now you're going up to turn 3 here. This is you lay on the brakes here pretty hard. Then let it roll. Talked about how tighter 3 and 4 are, and right up against the wall. That's 1 lap. Okay, once again, come down to turn 1. Just breathe the throttle. I mean, they're almost flat out right there with the new tires. Let it roll. As time goes on, this cheese grater, every lap it gets slower and slower.
Absolutely. The legend has it that crew chiefs used to fine pit crews for rolling the tires from the Goodyear tent to the pits instead of putting them on a cart because they just wear so fast here. I've even seen tires wear under caution.
Norris is looking for 4 out of 5 here.
Heck yeah.
And that's a real possibility. He in P4 right now. Killing like a villain.
Oh, we got a wreck on the backstretch, the 123. Or 124, rather. Rick Castle's around. Another thing about this track is it is stingy with the caution, and it appears to have done it again.
Rick Johnson has won this race so many times, the co-goat there. How he does that is by saving tires. In close and then get in that long run and then gapping you and
here we got to look at what happened to the 124.
Strategies.
124 and 108 are right next to each other, and it's real tight coming off there, and looks like they just kind of went for the same piece of real estate, and it did not work out well for that Crown Royal machine. Damage probably isn't too heavy. If he can just catch the caution, he might be okay.
Kind of about a half a car length different line for the 52 and the 23. Slim's trying to keep air on the nose, and he's trying to save little tires. Rick Johnson getting way up by that wall. Here comes Mark DeCenza. since his heart attack, he's been slowly getting better and better. Listening to him in the driver meeting, he sounded really good and really focused. So that 3 car is going to be back on top before you know it.
Oh yeah, he was on the podium last week. He was pretty strong in the trucks till the late race incident last night.
We
And
know
so
what he can do, and
we
that's
do know
win
what he can do.
championships.
Wendy Rocket
A
is
lot of
100%. Watch out.
And he's got that car, that paint, that Dale Earnhardt paint. I mean, that's like a mile an hour right there. Matt Watkins. What he's sporting tonight.
Got the Back to the Future scheme. Take a look
We're
at the
going
rights.
back to the future. That DeLorean is looking really good.
Take a look on the right side there. I got Jeff Habak in that 101 Coast Guard machine. I know his girlfriend Kim Wright, regular viewer of our broadcasts here, always supporting Jeff. She just got out of the hospital. She's recovering from kidney stone removal. I'm gonna have to go back into the hospital again for another procedure. So we're thinking of you, Kim. Hope you're feeling better, and everybody's cheering for you.
Definitely. Well, Dr. Melty suggests Budweiser cures all, and coronavirus, Budweiser. You know, kidney stones, Budweiser.
Uh-oh. We got the 3 car up on the wall.
Rick Castle.
Coming around. Oh, Pops is around.
Pops Marguson, and the yellow is definitely out.
Yeah, yellow flag in the air.
We know what Jordan McGregor can do, and he's doing it again tonight. And that's leading a little bit of Folgers in your cup.
It looks like there may have been just a little difficulty getting around lap traffic there.
Well, and that's the thing. There's just nowhere for Rick Castle to go. Trying to get out the way, but that's the caution he was looking for. Will he get the lucky dog here?
He will, because he was not actually part of it. It was just kind of a chain reaction as cars slowed to go around him.
Brian Lamb down low. Okay, they're all coming in. And you got to, you got to. Oh, and there's contact. The 9 into the back of the 3. The 3 apparently thought he was going too fast and really got on the brakes, and the 9 didn't see that. And the 9 got hit in the rear.
Oh, whoops.
I think that was the 109.
They may have misinterpreted where the pit road speed begins. Anyway, here's what we saw. 3 got a little bit of wall there getting around the 124. But that wasn't the source of the caution, as you see back behind in reaction to that.
Oh, boy, a gaggle. And
59 and the 99.
The 9 has to go around Johnny Doucette. Johnny got a position on him. Great stop for the 3 team. Great stop for them. He gained several spots there. Wow. I don't know if the 9 had... wow, I don't know, man. That Wrangler team hammered that one. See how this sorts out.
Like there's some cars that incurred penalties on the pit stop trying to sort their deal out on the backstretch here.
The lucky dog for the 124. Bill Yarbrough has disconnected, so he is done for the night. The points leader will lose some points tonight.
And that guarantees him 5 points.
Cars back in are in now. Rick Castle and Brad Otto.
Ken Soska rocking the special brownies tonight.
Oh yeah. We thought he'd be asleep by now, but apparently not so much. Experimentation is good every now and then.
Well, I haven't been able to drink on our Friday broadcast in a while because of the medications they've had me on that don't play nice with alcohol.
I self-medicate, man.
No, this neck problem, not gonna go away with that.
You paid for Joe Sharon. Nice. Shepherd. Hardware Products. But there's his nickname there on the left-hand side. Best on the floor. Well, being a tile man, I'm on my knees a lot, so I'm down, you know. Very nice. I've rocked company cars throughout the years. When I worked for Ballard Tile back in the day, Union, had the Union car, had the Marble car.
My number, 62, comes from...
Got John the Dog Palmer in that AMC with Spook on the hood.
Yeah, it's his cat.
That's like a boy.
That's for Black Cat Racing. Yeah, my number, 62, came from my public employee ID number at the company I was working for at the time I started sim racing. It was 602. I didn't want a 3-digit number, so I took the 0 out of it, and there you go. Back when I was at Borders, which was store 94, but if I took that, I'm like, oh, everybody's going to use that because of Bill Elliott.
Jeff Havoc rocking the Coast Guard colors, protecting and defending our coastlines.
Catching them drug smugglers.
Yeah,
we're about ready to take this back to green. Once again, Jordan McGregor will lead us to the line with Mark DeSenza moving himself up to second there, despite getting a little wall sucked there. Matt Watkins in third.
He said wall sucked.
Slim Jim Gately in fourth. And Rick Johnson fifth.
Hey, Beavis, he said wall sucked.
Oh, so you can hear me.
Sim racing. That'd be cool. Jim Ray in the house. Go 52 exclamation point. That's types that every time he comes
You're
in.
too late, Jim.
I already got
Milt
it,
already
Jim.
took him. Get your own pick.
And you can't pick Matt either.
Yeah, I took him. Your FSB broadcast team is taking the low-hanging fruit tonight, folks.
Wow, man, I tell you what. Also, have gotten to know Dan Irvine in the 27, real racer.
Oh, wow, he must have taken 2 tires on that stop because he started way in the back.
Yeah, and he has moved up. And the Mountain Dew car looking good.
I'm not sure about... Well, you know, that's probably not a bad move overall, especially if you can catch more cautions.
Man,
hang on to a little bit of that track position.
The only time I've ever done 2 tires is at the end of the race to try to get ahead, and that didn't work out because there was always that 52 guy. I got a whole bunch of second places in this race, but only like 1 first place, and that was like a Sportsman Cup back in the day. Because there's always that guy there. That guy in the 52. Even when he became my teammate. Then he told me everything. Milt, don't pit. Melt do this, Melt do that.
Oh, Jim's picking him to finish first and second. That is one long car.
Wow. Well, see, we got Ken on the brownies. Jim might be on the fudge. Cool. My co-worker's, I think he's watching, and he just texted me. He's all fired up about sim racing. He's playing NASCAR
Sweet.
Heat right now with a controller, and came by, he comes by every day, and we work together. And I said, "Why don't you try the rig out, dude?" And he is so hooked. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's
"Oh
not
my
quite
God,
the
it's
same.
just like driving a real car."
Yeah, controller versus a wheel. There's just no competition.
So he's trying to look to buy a wheel. 27s are rare and expensive.
Yeah, the G27s are no longer produced.
What do you know about the 29?
The G29 is the same thing. It's just the one that's for the later generation of consoles and PCs.
Well, that's kind of where we've been pushing.
Which console does he have?
He's got PS4 right now, and
Okay,
He wants to also be able to upgrade to PC later.
Yeah, so on the PS4 you're going to want the 29. If you have an Xbox, you want the 920.
Well, they also have an Xbox 20. Yeah, exactly, the 920. We were just looking at that. He was over here hanging out, drinking a few beers before he went home, and he brought that up on his phone. So he's serious, man.
Those are the same wheel. They're just one works with PC and PS4, and one works with PC and Xbox One. You can't get one that works with all three.
That would like to get out here and race against these guys. That's stuff you got to know. And looking at this running order, where did he come from? The 3 with that great pit stop. Did he get 2 tires or 4?
He had to take 2. There's absolutely no way he made up that many spots without taking 2 tires.
I'm going to go back and look.
Possibly even no tires. That might have been a top off. But you see, he's paying for it now as cars are starting to eat him alive. Ken Hansen has already gotten around him and immediately made up the ground that he was trailing the 52 by.
Okay, well, anyway.
Now, Ryan Johnson looks to take him on the outside into turn 1. Dan Irvine doesn't even put up a fight. He knows what he's got. So you got the 007.
I thought the 3 got 4 tires.
The 3 might have, but the 27 certainly did not. 007.
He just smoked like 3 drivers there. He went from 5th to 2nd.
Yeah, 007 Dan Jones rounds out your top 10 as he prepares to hold off Dennis Chambers in the 10. Another one of our hot shoes we haven't talked about tonight. Dennis Chambers, strong everywhere. Very smart driver. Good strategy, as well as speed, and he is making his way up the field after starting pretty far back himself.
Rick Pisciner in the 109 wants to stay with this group. He's managed to do that through the pit stop and the 9-2.
Yeah, he followed Ken Hansen around the 27 and is caught back up to this lead group here. Rick Pisciner, this is one of his better tracks, I'd have to say. He's always very fast here.
That. STP, the Racer's Edge.
Here's your 83, Steve Weber, the Big Cactus, our Tuesday night chicken run admin. Thanks, Jim.
I was watching, driving home while my coworker had one of the past broadcasts on his phone and like showing it to me. Yeah, okay, and I was kind of looking over, and the quality was just amazing. Technology. Me and Jim Ray, first time we did a broadcast, I don't even think we could imagine it would have got to this point. But that's on you, bro. You make this thing happen.
Thank you. It's been a learning experience. And thanks again to Will Farmer for helping with that standings upgrade we've got up there.
So we're looking at lap times here. We're already looking at almost a half a second drop just after the few laps. Last lap for Matt Watkins. Let's see as he crosses the line. Last lap 37, his best lap 33, so almost a half a second.
Fastest lap of the night was a 29.942 by Rick Visconner.
I was able to do that.
Oh, Chambers in the wall.
And then you go backwards. Racing back to the line. It's still green.
No, it's still green. There's a little bumping going on there. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Let's see if I can back that up. I just caught it out of the corner of my eye.
Matt Watkins trying to drive in hard in turn 1 and challenge the 3. That kind of, he had to get out of it, and then the 23's now on his tailpipe. And now the caution is out.
Yep, caution on Speedway.
Happened.
Well, first we got to look.
Reporter Dan Jones, you see anything out there, Dan?
Well, first we got to look at what happened with Dennis Chambers here.
Okay.
Looks like he just swung it high through 1 and 2, and he tried to keep off Dan and just got a little bit of wall. Okay, I thought he had contact to get up there, so he was okay there. And let's see what the source of our caution is. Looks like it might be just a self-spin by the 101. Jeff Habbock there.
Welcome to South Carolina.
Yeah, welcome to South Carolina, Jeff. I was giving him some pointers on how to approach the track here to try and stabilize that 3 and 4 for him.
This track
he was looking good in practice. He was looking pretty good in practice. Just a little loop there, banged up the back end. He should be able to carry on, but he might want to be just a little more mindful how loose that's going to be with the damage.
Watching that save by Dennis Chambers there, stabbing the brakes there, that was a pucker moment right there.
Call that stab and steer.
Down pit road again. I'm getting 4 tires, man. This is
absolutely. Anybody who doesn't get 4 tires this time is absolutely insane.
Bueno.
And let's.
The Folgers car, Jordan McGregor. Who the fuck hit me? That number 1 stall is great. Driving in there, Rick Johnson has to go by the 35.
Ooh.
Ken Hansen misses his stall.
Yeah, Ken had to back it up a little there.
Great save, but he was not in the line there, so they would not pit him. Jim Gately, 4 tires for all these guys. Red Box 4 team had a little bit of trouble there, but they get going.
They look like they're okay, about where he came in. He came in 5th, he's coming out
He got
5th.
a loose lug nut. Well, tighten it.
What's that fancy air wrench in your hand for?
Well, the 27, Dan Irvine, did he get track position here?
He did.
He did, and now he gets 4 tires. That's called risk-taking success right there.
Yeah, risk reward, and it paid off for him. That should crack him inside the top 10.
Green porta potty. He'll be right back.
All right, so your leader from the drop has been Jordan McGregor. He's led all 32 of our laps so far tonight. And he continues to pace the field out behind the FSB pace car. As mentioned, coming in tonight, your points leader is Bill Yarbrough, and he has already retired. Gonna lose a lot of points tonight, but at least pick up the minimum 5 points we get for a start here. FSB point system scores points for the first, one point per position for the top 15, and then it turns to just 5 points from 15th to 43rd. And check on my phone here to get the exact point situation we had coming into the race. Yeah, again, Bill Yarbrough was your leader with 9 points over Rick Johnson. Slim Jim Gately 10 back, Jordan McGregor 12 back, Dennis Chambers 12 back. I expect that to basically just flip Bill Yarbrough to the bottom of this, assuming all 4 of those guys have a good night, and let's face it, those guys tend to have good nights. Now this could turn into a really tight points battle by the time we get to the end of the night here. Dan Irvine 22 back. It's going to help him make up some ground too.
Just now in the pit window, and they are clutching under caution.
Yeah, they could do this on one more stop from here.
No chance.
2 stops?
36 laps. This says
Yeah,
projected
about
laps.
36 is max, yeah.
So take that down to what, 32?
So we got 100 and... Yeah, it would be 2 stops. My bad.
Wow, you made a mistake.
Well, I'm reading points.
Isn't that my job?
Reading points, guessing laps, you know.
Well, yeah, you do all the work, you know. I just drink beer and talk.
It's funny, the thing is, Shawn always knows that, and I never know that.
Know what?
The gas mileage on everything.
It's different when you're in the car versus up here.
Yeah, you're extremely focused on one thing.
I used to wonder, like, watching Milty and Greg and their broadcasts, like, how did they miss that? And, oh, that's how they missed that.
There's a lot going on, folks. Here, Ken
Lights
has
are
lost
off.
some spots here, but still in the top 10. And Steve Weber, the big cactus, come up into the top 10 there. And what he do? Move.
Looks like the 10 car Dennis Chambers came back in for a top off, so he's playing out some kind of strategy here. That puts him all the way to the back of the field again, which is just someplace I don't want to be. Pace car is off, and Jordan McGregor leads us back to green.
Lots of good camera views, which is always important on these tracks. One is different. We are dependent on them.
Yeah, sometimes some of these tracks are rough.
Shows you how big this track is.
Yeah, I like that pit camera 2 that I was using on the lead-in. That gives you a nice overview of the track.
Whoa, boy! The 109 almost got in the back. The Biscuit Eater almost got in the back of Rick Johnson there, man. Oh, and hard into the wall is the 0-2. Your Riverside winner just got his Darlington stripe. And that Dodge is hurting a little bit. Not sure. I just caught the tail end of it. I'm not sure how hard a lick that was, but it looks
Let's
like
take a
it's
look here.
striped up pretty good.
Looks like he tried to get to the outside of the 58. And it might have been just a little too early to try that on cold tires. It wasn't as hard a lick as you can take here at Darlington. It was just a little brush, just enough to make the car shake.
It's the Darlington stripe right there.
It's the stripe. You got it.
Don the Dog Palmer running well. For those that don't know, he drives with hand controls, paralyzed from the waist down. Got a custom steering wheel built, and he's won a lot of races with that thing. And stalling here in 13th, trying to move up.
Yeah, you see him there on the right side in that 108 red, white, and blue AMC.
But Johnny Doucette's having none of that. He wants to get up to Dog there. And Rick Castle, he's got to have a little bit of damage in that piece. Brian Lamb.
Oh, Pops Margison back in the wall. Now, 99's got to be loose with all that rear end damage. Looks like he just had to chase it up the track. Joe Sharon hanging.
Dennis Chambers all the way back to P18. He's got some work to do.
Yeah, Dennis Chambers with that top off put himself way back in the field.
He's trying an alternate strategy. But how's that going to work for you? You have to get a early caution and hope you stay out and they go in. That just doesn't really work well here in my experience. But I think this guy in the 10 is better than me. So
He's playing a long game, I think. He was trying to make it work out better for that two-stop strategy that everybody else is clutching for.
Yeah, that would also work that way, too. Brad Otto and Joe Sherm going at it. Joe's just talking about how much fun he's having. And, you know, like all of us, he comes here with, you know, racing in
What happened
his
to
blood.
Jordan McGregor?
Uh-oh.
Jordan has fallen way back in the field.
Nothing on the scanner. See if we can jump back and see what the heck happened to him. As we were watching these other cars. Okay, I'm watching him. He's getting passed by the 3. Oh, and he scrapes up against the wall. And he just scrapes and scrapes and scrapes. It goes all the way back. Almost gets hit by the 9. And the 83 of the big cactus. It's like he knew he was going to get passed by Mark DeCinza and tried to get out of the way, and he got 2 out of the way.
Yeah, he got that wall glue going on there.
He was having some issue there, like internet or steering wheel or something.
No, that's just the nature of the beast here at Darlington. I think he was just trying to let Mark go, and he got too high up there. And once you make contact with the wall here at Darlington, it's very hard to get off of it. So I think that's what happened to him. He just got sucked in there. That's what I was saying about wall suck before, Beavis, and that's what'll happen. So a tough break for the 30 car, who had been just the dominant car all night long.
Some damage there, and a huge loss of track position all the way from 1st to 10th. And that'll make your sticker pecker right there. It takes you a couple laps to get back into a rhythm. This is extremely intense rhythm track.
I'm taking a look at his.
You could blow 4 or 8 of them before you get it back again.
Yeah, I'm looking at the right side of his car. He knocked it in pretty good. Now that's going to start having some long-term effects on the tire wear as it tightens up the car.
On that. Or maybe some Vindex, you know. Nobody's sponsored here by Vindex.
Yeah, it's my big fat Greek pit crew, huh? Alright, now I'm going to take the...
That's how quickly it happens here at Darlington.
I'm going to leave it up on the side-by-side and take myself a little broadcaster break here, and we'll pass it back over to Milty.
10-4, we got a battle here with the 109 and the 52 for P5. The top 4 are nose to tail, and who is that guy again? Where did he come from? Ryan Johnson. This is what he does all the time. Admins has to handle that. He's just calculating smooth. Brothers Body and Paint car is up to 4th. Usually it takes him later in the race to get up there, but not today. That car is strong. That Buick, he's got Ralph and his Buick. And they're kind of closing back in on Rick Johnson now. and that pack is closing in on the leaders. You can get a little bit of gap here and not panic because tire wear is such an issue. I know that's exactly what Rick Johnson is trying to do, is figure this out and hope he gets a long run to do that. But how about that leader there, Mark DeCenza, a couple months away from passed from a heart attack. I've known this guy for so long, 16 years in sim racing. With the co-league we used to run with, an original founder, Dan Smith of FSB, and then started his own league, and then we had interleague races. We would race each other for fun. And I was like, this guy's good. Dan would be saying like, come into our server and beat this guy. Because at that time I was pretty good, you know, and I'd come in there and I'd get beat, you know, and I was like, dude, you got a stud here in your league. Listen to him talk in the driver meeting tonight. It really sounded alert and healthy and focused. And there's smoke on the back straight. Huge smoke.
Looks like we're still under green, though. Yeah, I didn't see the smoke, Milty.
There's smoke still on the straightaway as they go past the start-finish line. Somebody, and pops Markson hard into the wall there. He tried to knock that thing down, the venerable one, and who the heck was that? That was Joe Sherham getting a Darlington stripe. Tire wear is starting to be an issue. Let's look back up at the leaders and see what their time. These guys are all like, oh, Brad Otto gets loose on the turn 4, goes all the way down to the inside, no harm, no foul. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps.
Eventful couple turns there.
Wow. Every time I click something, there's something else, action going on. Let's go back to the leaders and see. Mark DeCenza, last lap, 30.7. Best lap, 29.9. He's in that elite group that's in that, has gotten into the 29s and worked his way up to the front here. He knows how to manage pace, but also the leader can have a disadvantage if this thing goes green, because everybody can pace themselves off of him. It's not a gas thing, it's a tire thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Tire management. And see, Dennis Chambers still mired in traffic here.
Matt Watkins there. Matt, we're going back. Back to the future.
Yeah, Dennis Chambers has only worked his way back up to 15th by this point.
Here comes it. Mother's Body and Pay Car taking a look and trying to get in the head of Rick Johnson. Good luck with that. Or maybe it's just getting a little air on the nose there. Or he's struggling a little bit here.
Looks like he's having a problem.
This is the longest run we've had. This is where, well, maybe not, but I gotta start writing this stuff down, you know. I don't think people like hearing me, make mistakes, you know. We all make mistakes. Rick Johnson, this is what he does. This is what he wants, is a long run. What he used to tell me all the time when he was my teammate, before he was my teammate, he didn't tell me nothing except...
we got a wreck on the front stretch.
Nice second place, Minner.
124 and 09. Brian Lamb, Rick
green.
Castle, and we're still green?
What Rick Johnson wants is to take those... So the thing is the first few laps, keeping the happy on those tires. Or I don't know what the NASCAR guys say.
The 124 blew up right in front of Lamb, and there was just nothing Brian could do about that.
Lamb is pushed in, and
yeah, he's done.
Oh man, I mean, when somebody blowed up in front of you, there's not much you can do.
I'll show you exactly what he sees here.
Yeah, I'm watching it now. Delay. Oh my gosh. Oh, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, it's going to be terminal for
Oh,
both
that's
cars.
terminal for both those guys, obviously.
And we are under caution.
Well, good to see Lamb out here tonight. He's really he really loves road racing, Trans Am cars and the like, and and those skills transfer to a track like Darlington. But when somebody blows up, oh, look at that hood! Oh my gosh! Here comes Matt Watkins. Rick Johnson backs off a little bit, trying to save, but he's got two guys that know what to do in front of him. Jim Gately falling back a little bit. It's so weird track position, and each run, just a minute. These guys
Dan
are so
Irvine
good.
pulling a strategy again.
Oh, we got smoke on the back straight again, and the caution is out. And tire marks, that can't be good.
Hey, you're a little behind there, Milty.
And I'm a little behind. I'm a lot behind. Every time I go back and look at the replay, that's what happens. I forget to go fast forward.
Yeah, understandable.
Whoopsie! Never mind the guy behind the sheet there.
I thought Dan Irvine was pulling a strategy again, but I realized he's just pitted at the back of the field, and he was running at the front of it, so he got into his pit stall first, and done with service,
now
but then
these
everybody
pit
pulled out ahead
stops,
of him.
These services, and once again, track position has changed again. The goats up front, their pit crews know when to nail that. You nailed it. That's what your spotter tells you. You nailed that.
Man, we nailed that pit stop.
Unless you have the Jimmy Johnson dirty spotter or one of those.
Yeah.
Then he tells you how stupid you are. I want that. Earl, we get those guys out of the way.
Now, it looks like
out
Dennis.
here.
There's Dennis Chambers falling in line here. I guess he didn't pick up any spots.
Got cheating, Tom. Absolutely.
Actually, he lost 2 spots in the exchange.
Mark DeCenza on point. This has got to be a rush for him. I've been there as a champion and a race winner and a dominant driver. Like, he had his runs, a few years ago where he was unbeatable. And he's been through, health problems and just hasn't, had those runs. And he's worked his way back here, and that feeling of, oh my gosh, you've done this before, and he sure has, but he hasn't done it in a while, at least on Friday night. And, we're talking everything you can win here in a stock car at FSB. He's done it. And that's got to be a rush for him, and great work to, get back. And also, you see the love of showing up and sim racing in this community. He wanted to get back to normalcy in his life, after a heart attack,
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we're also thinking of Bubba Razor fighting cancer and leukemia, kicking its butt, from what I understand, and looking to get back soon, so we hope to see you on the track again, Bubba. Bubba's the grandfather. His grandson's band, Alborn, provides our waiting music.
One of the coolest and funnest guys. He found our league by watching broadcasts. And him and his buddies, they had this little bar down in his basement, called himself the Possum Hollow Boys, and they started watching it on the big screen, and said, you know what, we should do this. All older guys, let's go pretend we are a NASCAR driver and end up being one of the most respected, and just love this guy. It's easy to show up and be a winner, show up and just compete and get it, that you're a part of something bigger than you are. That's what FSB
Absolutely.
is all about.
Absolutely. I've always said that those guys are the spirit of FSB, so we look forward to Bubba making his comeback.
If
Pace
he
car is
always
off.
puts stuff in my Facebook page. I just haven't been on
Yeah.
Facebook in a long time here, so.
Yeah, he's very active there. And Mark DeCenzo leads us back to green here.
Now you're not at.
You're not quite halfway here.
Yeah, you're not there, so one more stop is not going to get it. But you still want to save tires. You still do the same thing, because if it stays green, you want to stay out longer, or you want to pit earlier. There's two options.
Yeah, there's two ways to do it. You run it dry twice and then come in for a splash, or you short pit it twice. Try and spend as much time on fresh tires.
Some guys deciding they want to get to going here, and that's the 9 all over the back of Slim Jim Gately. The 9 has dodged bullets, like a trooper, and he's putting his aggressive hat on a little bit. But Slim Jim Gately is having nothing of that. You guys are tooth and nail. I have to see what the 02 car's got left there. He's in this group now. And how about Dennis Chambers starting to move back up? Never give up, never give in. Donkey Bob right there, man.
Yeah, man. Dennis Chambers was 17th after the last.
For Dennis Chambers.
He was up to 17th. Now he's cracked the top 10.
And he's got a lot. It's not even a halfway point yet, so. Oh. But that 3 car is rolling. He's feeling it. Back in the day, he was one of the hardest chargers, and it reminded me of myself. That's all we knew was how to go as fast as we could every lap. And he is, through championships and with the skill level today, he has mastered tire wear savings.
Only that, but being teammate of Slim Gately there in the 23, that helps a lot too. With
that guy's pretty good.
Learning how to manage the race, manage the car, manage the tires.
A lap in your car while you're driving, watching you, and he can see you missed your lift point by 5 feet. How do you see that? You just know it. He just knows it. He can get in your car and watch you, man.
You can listen to the engine. You can watch the body language of the car.
Let's get some more in-car here.
Let's get on. Ooh, Jordan McGregor looking to make some move. Oh, contact. 02 goes up. Jordan McGregor down to the apron, hangs onto it. Whoa! You had that all on the right side there, and he's still going. Let's get on board the.
He might have had some Hennessy there, What was that? Booze that McGregor is pushing there?
I'm not sure.
Some Irish whiskey. Wow, but yeah, that was close.
That's right on top. That's right with Dennis Chambers here as he tries to work on our in-race reporter, Dan Jones, in the 007. He's got to run, and he's going
Coming
to look
out,
inside.
there, he's going down the front straightaway. He's got to brake here because he's got cars in front of him. Gets weighted almost down on the apron there. A little
Yeah,
bit.
really.
Lost a ton of momentum there. He's definitely spooked. He tried to make a run on Dan Jones and thought better of it. And he lost like 6 car lengths there.
Yeah, but he'll come roaring back up on him here.
This isn't like Daytona where you've lost the draft. These guys are going to bunch up like the freeway at 176 miles an hour. Hard on the brakes. Roll all the way through. Pick up the throttle. And you got a mash there, but the RPMs are low enough to where you hope you don't have to worry about tire spin. But as the tires go away, you start lift, roll, back on the gas. When you look at turn 1 and turn 2, it's not a lift, roll, go thing. It's like kind of flat plateau there where you have to let the car run up. The banking changes too. It's sharper when you first come in, and then it kind of flattens out in the middle. Now you're going down front straightaway again into turn 1, right down on that line. Let it drift up to the line, to the wall. Back down, you want to get right down on that white line, probably about a yard and a half. On the brakes again. And they're back on the throttle here with that low RPM and these great setups. There's not a lot of wait time. It will continue to get worse as tires go off.
And you can see just how hard it is to set up a pass here at Darlington. You had a couple runs you had to back off of because they were just timed wrong. Meanwhile, things are holding pretty steady.
Is all over the back of the 007.
Your only 2 leaders tonight have been the 3 of Mark DeCenza and the 30 of Jordan McGregor. And in just a few more laps, Mark DeCenza will take over the most laps led. He's led 35
but
so
McGregor's
far.
not out of this. There's lots of time left. He's gathering up, but he does have the Mauis.
Yeah, Jordan slipped all the way back. I think to about 17th. He's crawled back to 14th, just past John the Dog Palmer.
Ryan Johnson just does what he does. He makes no bones about it. He doesn't. Everybody knows what his style is and what he's capable of. Totally different than his son. Isaac is just a prodigy. He's got, young reflexes, young skills, drives go-karts and wins. And with Dad building them, Dad is more calculating and analytical. He doesn't have that raw talent like his son has. They can just pull it out by will. He does it he's got great talent.
Oh, he's fast, but...
He's fast. But
he's a strategy driver.
He's a strategy mind. On the fly, as you're driving, you got to be pit crew and driver.
The hottest battle on the track is still the 10, trying to find a way around the 007 here. He's made up that ground he lost from the little hiccup. Yeah, Ryan Johnson, like we mentioned, sitting inside the top 10, but I think he's got to keep an incident on his tab there from earlier in the race.
Turn 1, but impossible to pass in turn 1. You can't drive it in there unless the guy just totally gives it up. You got to get him coming out of turn 2 and get the run down into 3, and here we go. That's where you set. That's the best place to set him up.
He wasn't quite there. Oh, Dan's moving up.
And that's how he spooked him there. He's been showing. That's great racecraft. That's you know what pros do. This is a pro league. And he worked him, put the pressure on him, was patient, didn't try to drive it into the rear quarter panel or the rear deck lid. Worked him, eventually put the pressure on. That braking zone into turn 3 is, and the run out of turn 2 is your best passing option. Yeah. Period. Doesn't matter if you're in a truck, you're in a Pro Cup car, or you're in these Winston Cup cars. Still the same.
We are past the halfway point here.
Well, in the old 007, way up against the wall. That, you know, he worked to stay in front of the 10, and I know that feeling. He worked to try to keep your track position, and now that car is not turning for him. These guys are all so good. All it takes is a couple laps there. You get those tire. You know, they got multiple screens they can look at, and F screens, and bring up that tire temp. I mean, it's kind of moot when you know the car's not turning. You know your tire's high. You might not even want to waste the time to look at it, but you know, 10 degrees difference in that right front compared to the guy that you're racing against, and you're going backwards in the rear with the gear.
Meanwhile, Mark DeSenza has taken over the most laps led lead.
And we got Dan Jones here. We were just talking about you. Is that right front starting to get unhappy?
Yep. Not fun at all.
It's getting more and more pushy.
Use my brakes maybe too much.
Yeah, trying to stay in front of Chambers there and keep your track position.
Well, hang in there. This is far from over.
Far from over. The other guys are all battling with the same thing. Then you got that top 4, and the 3 car is just on fire. The air on the nose. He's got his the bit between his teeth, and there is advantage to being in the lead as far as aero. The thing is sometimes you can push too hard and get too happy. But this guy knows this ain't his first rodeo, and he's wearing Wranglers, so ding.
It's funny, you get out of style one lap, and then 2 or 3 following it seem to be the same thing.
Exactly. We were talking about that earlier too.
I was talking about that.
It's such a rhythm track. You throw it off once, and it takes you several to get it back. And Dan Irvine dropping low to let traffic by.
We got chatter and 31 of Brad Otto, I think, was talking about pitting there.
Yeah, he's 4 laps down.
And Brad's going to do what he does when he knows he's in this position. Try to stay out of the way, especially the leaders. He will sacrifice, as he has done, U.S. Marine. And years ago, when we all got together, the California guys at FSB, and we did a lot of drinking and go-kart racing, which, thank you very much. I kicked everybody's butt.
Yeah, you like to tell us
that. Designated driver was Brad Otto, and we knew we were in good hands with a sober guy and a professional sim racer. See Joe Sherham getting past there by the leaders. What a great start for Joe. What a great attitude and skills. I mean, just listening to him talk, he's just so fired up about racing in this league.
Yeah, for a rookie to get lapped here at Darlington is no shame, because these guys are fast, and this track is tough. So he's hanging in there doing a good job tonight.
These guys are spreading out. Last lap for Rick Johnson. 32.1, best lap 30, over almost 2 seconds different in lap times. That is how much every single lap these tires get worse and worse and worse. You got to lift more and more, especially through 1 and 2 through the center there. You have to lift earlier going into 1, where before you were almost flat out or flat out.
Dennis Chambers is, meanwhile, we've been following him on the right side there, worked his way up to 6th spot now. I think
they're
he
going
might
to have to make about another 21 laps here if they want to make it one more stop. That's not going to happen. So do you split it up, or do you just run it out? If you got great track position, I don't think you can do anything but trying to hold on. But these guys are already starting to fall back. You want to break it up? That would not be what Rick Johnson usually does. But somebody maybe back farther might try to break that thing in half and hope it stays green, and they can just haul ass, you know.
If I'm falling backwards like Ryan Johnson is now, like Dan Jones is,
Plus
Dan Irvine too. I'd be I'd be wanting to pit earlier. I'd want to split it up and spend as much time.
Stops anyway.
Yeah, spend as much time on the fresh tires as you can.
We got Chatter, and we got the 27 pitting, Ryan Johnson
Save
pitting.
Dan Irvine.
Just like you said. That would probably
there
be
he
me,
is.
you know, I mean, can't beat a dead horse, you know, when you're not going to win doing it any other way. But now these guys in front have got to start thinking about that too, because they're going to lose. They're
Here comes the 3.
Here comes 23, Slim Jim Gately. See, that's how I like to pit right there.
Here comes the 3 and the 23
Instead of going
together.
all the way out to the outside and then pitting the last minute, and there's the 3. First and second place. These guys know each other like the back of their hand.
That's going to pass your lead to Matt Watkins. So Dan Irvine started the trend. Here comes Matt Watkins.
Can he get to the lead? Matt Watkins. This is money time pit stops for Matt Watkins. 3 down pit road in his stall. 23, Slim Jim Gately carefully slides in.
Did you see how far Matt Watkins slid across the line there?
I didn't see that, but that's what he does at the end. Checkers or black flag. This is when he makes his money right here.
So Matt Watkins was credited with a lap lead there. Rick Johnson comes in behind him. Ken Hansen too, I believe.
Jim Gately burns rubber out and still is behind Mark DeCenza.
Dennis Chambers.
Road exit. Look at that. It's not easy. It's flat.
No, it's not.
I mean, you're going as fast as you can go.
And they're drag racing down the backstretch.
Here comes Slim Jim Gately in. He's side by side. These guys aren't leading now, but these are
on
the
cold
guys.
Tires.
Wow. And Mark DeCenza says, I don't think so, son.
Yeah, if Slim didn't get the apron there, he might have been able to do it.
That is the vintage Mark DeCenza I've seen. Powers through the outside. Slim Jim said, oh, I have my chance.
Matt Watkins pulls out of the pits now. This has cycled the lead over to Dennis Chambers, but if he doesn't hit the pits soon, that's going to be costly. See Diamond Dave Simons leaving pit road. Rick Visconner. Trying to find our leader. There he is. So you got your leader on the right. A little bit opposite of how I usually do it, but that's just the situation right now. So Dennis Chambers in the 10 car on the right side of your screen is your leader. And I think when this all cycles out, man, Matt Watkins had a heck of a stop, and he will inherit the lead once these guys all cycle through their pit stops, and here comes the 10 now. So Matt Watkins is your leader. in a minute. Dennis Chambers, very conservative entry to pit road there.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I had to make a pit stop here.
Okay, I didn't catch that. So yeah, the 10 car is on pit road right now. Matt Watkins is your leader, with Mark Descends a second, Slim Jim Gately third, Rick Johnson fourth, and Ken Hansen, Mr. Where Did He Come From? He's been strong all night, and he has stuck himself into 5th spot now as this cycles through. And you're going to see just how much ground Dennis Chambers gave up by staying out those few laps. He stayed out at least 5 or more laps beyond these guys pitting.
So when you think about that pitting in just after 90, you're probably looking at a 58 window. You split that in half. That's going to be, let's see, it'll be like 28 laps. So these guys are going to want to pit probably at like about like 119 or so if they're going to split it in half.
Yeah, we're still watching her to see where Dennis cycles in here.
This thing smells like green, looks like green. It might be green, it might not.
And plus, as we saw earlier,
Trends, if you're like Larry McReynolds, which I always love that.
trans.
Trends, well, I don't have any of that stuff written down, but I would say trends are, in my experience, has been, in the old days, was this thing's going to go right to the end. In the new days, with the drivers way better from top to bottom than way back in the day at FSB, I'm going to say they very well could have a caution. So,
yeah, well, I find the trends here to be a few cautions early on. We have had 3. And then usually a green finish because the cars get spread out and get on different strategies. But we've got top 5 under a blanket right now. Dennis Chambers cycled all the way back to 18 seconds back on the track in 12th spot. And those extra laps on old tires just killed 10 car.
You're my mom.
I don't know what just happened there.
Well, remember when Back to the Future? Because Matt looks like, he's a short, stocky guy, like dude back in the day.
Michael J. Fox? I wouldn't call him stocky.
Michael J. Fox.
Ooh, a little save by the 007 there, just as I put the camera on him.
And then she calls him, I'm
Calvin.
sorry, Calvin, Why are you calling me Calvin? Well, isn't your name on your underwear? Calvin Klein.
So we've settled out into Dan Irvine, 27. Dan Irvine on 27 is the leader of the second pack here, 6.57 seconds back.
How about the perseverance of the 9 car? The beer can has been kicked around in the pits a little bit, but here he is in 5th place, hanging in there and looking good. This is a great drive for the 9. John, the dog Palmer, taking a look at him, but lapped out in B14, but fantastic run for John. This is a very difficult track, trying to drive with just your hands and no feet. Can't even imagine doing that. And this guy's made
road courses.
Sim racing career out of it, and has won the Daytona 500 and a bunch of other races. And he manages a pretty good racing team there in Black Cats. You know, when you're a team manager, it's not about like, you know, you're not Roger Penske, you're not paying out. People want to be around you and hang out with you. You know, he's not the brains of the operation as far as, you know, skills or, you know, he's an organizer. You know what I'm trying to say is that he recruited drivers that teach him how to get better. But he's that guy they want to be around, and you know, that's called personality, you know? I mean...
And he runs the Black Cat Aero 88 team-based series on Sundays, where it's all about team points. If you want to get in on these Aero 88 cars, and
you know,
Sunday's your day for racing.
Experiences with team stuff, including people that were way too serious. You know, I mean, we're all serious, but throughout the years at FSB, we've stuck to team racing, and even though sometimes it hasn't always worked out so well, people get a little too excited. But the drivers today, and they understand. Just listening to the driver meeting today before, when you were wondering where the hell is Milt, you know, I wasn't in the porta potty. I wasn't at the beer. Well, I was at the beer stein. Then I went to the porta potty. But I was listening to that driver meeting and listening to Ryan Johnson and then the boss Sam talk about you know, stuff about the last race and what we're looking for. Totally professional. I mean, if you want to get into sim racing and run and, you know, have a fair, clean place to learn, this is it, man. This field is hugely spread out. Oh, the 9 car right up against the wall. Tire dag, boom, hitting him again. Every time you do a sequence or a run, as we call them, you're expecting the same results of what you had the last time, but everything can change with the physics of the track, the physics of the car. A couple laps where you might have put 5 or 10 degrees more on your right front. That's all it takes. It changes.
Oh, there's a wreck at the leaders.
Wreck at the lead, and Slim Jim Gailey hard into Matt Watkins. Spins him around. Slim Jim gets hammered in the rear. What happened to Matt there? Did he slow up, or did the 23 give him a bump? This changes everything. I don't think Matt got the brunt of that, but the 23 got hammered in the rear.
Oh, I think I see what happened here.
Oh my God.
Backing it up.
Matt Watkins doing the Back to the Future.
Well, looks like we had
500 there.
We had a rare mistake from the goat here. He just got up and into the wall, and wall sucked and popped off right in front of Slim. Not much Slim could do about that. Collects the 52.
So now I see it on the broadcast. That's how close they are, and Matt Watkins just got to be kicking himself now. And he's got damage, but he's not out of this. But that changes everything. That puts the 3 right back in front. Is Watkins going to get... Let's focus on the 35 here and see how much work they do on that car. Generally, in my experience, when Matt Watkins makes a mistake like that, he comes out pissed off. You know? This guy can wheel a car.
Oh, and then he crashed on the backstretch coming to the caution. Oh,
I didn't see that.
Heavy contact with the 99.
That is not going to serve him well or his chances. And we're tires for the 35. I got to think right here he's going to try to shut damage off and not lose track position. But is that 1 inch or 2 on him within a short amount of time?
He was trying to get into position, and there was just the cars spun in front of him.
Okay, so that wouldn't be on him.
I wouldn't think so.
Like the driver's meeting was talking about, part of the FSB rules are a two-incident rule. If you get into two incidents, you have to park the car. But that's if they're your fault.
Right, and that second contact there looked like, yeah, it was kind of eerily
Wow.
similar to what happened with Steve Park at Darlington. When he was under caution and someone was trying to pull up into their correct spot in the field, and Steve Park's wheel popped off and turned him hard left in front of him.
Have to see how this sorts out and how much damage. I think they did a little beating and banging just to get those fenders out on the 35, but
He's still listed in fourth.
He didn't spend a lot of time in the pits, so we're gonna see what that car's got left, and we know what he's got left, and we know when, like I said, when he's a nice, mild mannered. He built my computer, and he's just a nice guy. But man, when he gets between the lines, he's a tiger, man.
It looks like the one that
Especially
cost.
when he makes a mistake, he's going to drive the living, you know what, out of this car for whatever it's worth.
Looks
Doesn't
like
care about points or anything.
Looks like the one who lost the most out of this is Slim Jim Gately. Falls all the way back to 11th spot after challenging for the lead.
There, and, you know, that's racing. That's one of those deals where you got nowhere to go. These guys are racing inches away from the wall, and Slim is not even tripping. He's just thinking, he's had some good luck lately. Luck is a big part of racing. No matter how good you are, you got to have good luck too.
He's down but not out right now. And meanwhile, are we in our window here, Dan?
Well, we're going to come around here, 32, 31 to go. We got projected lap, 35 laps. It's going to be a close one.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some people top off.
So you're clutching right now, obviously.
Everyone's clutching right now.
And what clutching is when you see the real guys do it, what they do is they shut the motor off. The simulation doesn't have the option, but to save gas, throw it in neutral whenever you can and let it coast with the engine running, and that still saves you fuel, similar to what you see when you watch NASCAR on TV.
Something you learn after someone's beat you a few times. How'd they do that?
Every drop. You're talking drops,
Enough to get a lap extra.
Yeah, and you can clutch while you're racing too.
I've done that at super speedways.
Very difficult.
Dangerous, very dangerous.
Very dangerous. It's only been successful for me once, and I beat the great Matt Watkins at Homestead, and all he could say was, "I cannot believe you had enough fuel." I ran out, and then my teammate tried to push me to the line and almost wrecked me. Because these cars don't push very good, especially when the guy in front of you is dead stick, but somehow I managed to save it.
We're riding on board with Dennis Chambers here as he clutches in front of Dan Jones. And you hear that sound, and you see that the shifter drops down to neutral on our end, our animation there.
And this saves fuel. You can see it. Driver has a projected lap counter on his F screen. He can switch from tires to fuel to laps. And
here we go, green flag back in the air.
That's going to be 30 laps. I think even the guys that pitted later, being that we're under caution, I think these guys are all good.
32 exactly on this start here.
But they will have to manage that. And what the simulation provides sometimes will trick you, but these guys know these tracks and know what the projected laps actually means. Sometimes it tells you got plenty of laps, and you don't. It's accurate to the nail sometimes, and sometimes it's not. So,
But also, because it's a full fuel run that we got left to go here, you still want to save those tires, because you can't just go all out saying, "Hey, I can make it on fuel." Well, yeah, but if you do that, you're still going to kill your tires.
Also saves fuel.
Yes.
Johnny just said tries to get out of the way. He can. Very difficult when you go into wow. Oh, and then 007 against the wall because he got spooked by the lap car. That's how quick it is. So hard to get out of the way here. Look, there's only room for like 2 cars, and there's only one racing line. Whenever you get offline to try to help and get out of the way.
You see Dan drops down to let Slim by. And Jordan McGregor. Jordan trying to work his way back into contention
and
here.
He has perseverance. He's got a long way to go still, and also Dave Simon's battling. These guys know each other. They want to move up, but at the same time, they're racing hard and trying to stay up with Slim Jim. They've lost a huge amount of time. The 83 of the Big Cactus, Steve Weber, all by himself. They're trying to stay on. The hard charger of the night definitely goes to Dennis Chambers in 7th, all the way back with the dogs in the weeds. Matt Watkins does not look the same. That could definitely be a combination of damage and not being in the lead. The lead makes you look like a hero sometimes here, because that arrow definitely does help. And they are nose to tail, inches apart. Matt Watkins is not leaving these guys like he was before. But his car in this draft, and you do get a draft here a little bit anyway. That real racer, short track winner, Dan Irvine, what a journey he's had in that Mountain Dew car. Definitely showing his experience in sim racing and real racing and persevering.
Dennis Chambers back in 7th now with the 10 car. His strategy is not cost him, at least. He's still very much in contention. Slim Jim Gately has gotten around Jordan McGregor, as both of them have gotten around the 007, and they're looking to make up the ground they've lost. They're a full 6 seconds back at this point.
Okay, so if you're going to pit and split this in half, you're starting to think about that.
I don't think anybody would if they can make it on fuel.
I think you're right. Because now with that last caution, that changes it. Boss Martinson getting out of the way, but there's only so much you can do. That transition from the banking to the flat is, how the hell do them guys think it would be better to run down on the flat part? That's just the technology and the thinking that we take for granted now.
Yeah,
but that's what makes this track so exciting, you know.
And back then, tracks weren't banked for speed; they were banked for drainage.
Well, and they had to, finance their racing effort by slinging some moonshine, you know.
Ooh, big gaggle on front stretch there.
Maybe running away from the cops there.
Oh, that is, the legend of how it started.
Look at the 9 car. He can't get a run here, but Matt Watkins still looks strong in that Back to the Future beat-up car there.
Oh, Dan Jones
There goes that man.
has just got his hands full now with the 007. Very ill handling after several trips into the wall. He's just doing all he can to hang on to that machine.
Inside, looking for the lead.
He looks, but he backs it off.
Have nothing of it.
Wasn't quite there before the turn.
That man. The drummer.
Oh, caution. Caution on the speedway. It's the 9 car of Ken Hansen.
Oh, no. Top 10 car. Great run all night for Ken Hansen. What the heck happened? Gotta get 4 tires here. Gotta get 4 tires, dude.
Absolutely.
Don't even trip. No brainer. Even I can figure this out.
What happened, boys?
Looks like Ken Hansen got around somehow. Finding it out right now. Okay, we'll have a look at it. Ken Hansen's racing with Dan Irvine here. Goes on into, I think that's turn 1, and turn 3. And he just looped it by himself. Looped it around left side into the wall.
That just tells you how on the edge we're taking for granted. Just watch these guys make laps. My coworker got on my rig and ran some laps, and first he watched me run some laps, and then he got in the car, and he was just like, just don't realize how just one press of the gas and you're around. I mean, that's how quick it is. This is the money stop. 2 world champions here. 3. Mark DeSenza smoothly into his pit. The Wrangler Chevrolet. Rick Johnson smooth. 35 smooth. Slim Jim has to go around the 109. Jordan McGregor has to go around all of them, but still pretty good entry for him. He needs to get a couple spots here. It's Mark DeSenza out in the lead. Rick Johnson second. Matt Watkins up to third. After all that chaos, he moves up. That's what he does. This guy is a bulldog, dude. I'm telling you.
With 17 laps left to go here, you're going to get this restart probably about 15 to go. 15, 14 to go.
I would not want to make this guy angry. He'd find a way, you know.
Do you take 2 outer tires, or do you take all 4?
I think everybody took 4.
Okay.
Nobody's taking 2 at this point.
And they all had really good entries there their stalls, and it was all smooth the same. Don't know how hard that is, folks. Take it for granted just watching them slide in there. You're going from 170 on the track to 45 miles an hour, and then you gotta nail that pit stop. That's like being at the gas pump and going in your local Arco or whatever, or Chevron, and flying in there as fast as you can.
Yeah, when a sale's on, half price.
And exactly, and locking the brakes up and landing right there where the pump can hit your gas tank. Because if you go 2 feet forward, you're too far forward. Still, these other sims out there, NASCAR Heat, iRacing, they still don't have That's one of the things I just love about NASCAR 2003, even if it's old. Pit stops, the realism of this type of racing is as old as this sim is. You can spend all the money you want, but you don't have to spend a whole lot to run here, and it's a little more work as far as getting your stuff hooked up. But once you do, I mean that's. I mean, I spent more times practicing pit stops and pit entries than I did, you know, after the first couple of years of my career, than driving on the track, because that's everything.
Yep, you beat a lot of people right there.
And you can lose right there.
Yep.
I mean, you can be the
Absolutely.
fastest dude out there, and I'm badass, and then you blow it in the pits. Get tired of that stuff after a while. And you just saw professional sim racers do that like it was easy. Try it. Come over to my house. I'll let you. Let's get on the rig and try it. See what you can do.
Lights are out. We're gonna have.
And I do that with my coworkers. I get them all fired up. This new guy that I'm working with, he's a great young man, and he's totally into racing. He's got street cars and stuff, and he wants to get into sim racing. And just watching, and then I put him on the track, and just you could just see his eyes light up, man. I mean, when you get that bug, like, holy cow, this is so cool. I feel like I'm driving a NASCAR car right now. But I'd be like, my dad was actually a real race car driver. If you don't throw up or soil yourself, then it's not real, because he did that a lot.
All right, so we're about to go back green here with 15 to go. Pace car is off. Mark DeSenza back in the lead, having led more than half the race to this point, 74 laps. Definitely clinched the most laps led bonus.
Racing gets in your blood, one way or another. If you're a fan, it's in your family. You do it on a local short track. You got all these kind of stories with all these guys in this league, just in our league.
Green, green, green.
Mark DeSenza brings it. He knows what to do. Lost the lead for a little bit. It could be his night tonight. Once
Slim Jim looking low. Oh, I'm sorry, no, Rick Johnson, wrong red car. Thought better of it. Dennis Chambers.
Did that run at the beginning there, but Mark DeSenza is going to hold his line. There's just nowhere to go.
Dennis Chambers has worked himself up to 5th now.
There is enough time to have some tire degradation. If this thing keeps restarting, it can be hard for Rick to get by him. But if he gets some time here, then he can work them. Arguably, nobody better that I've ever seen in following and working a guy than that guy in the red box Ford. There's that guy in the 35. What does he have left? What is his car? God, Dan Irvine persevering and fighting all night. Going through bad luck. Taking a 2-tire change. Taking a risk. Having it work out. That's tough for you.
Oh, we got another run for the 52.
Rick Johnson down low. He's going to stick it in there. Mark's going to have to go high, but you know what? This guy, Mark DeSenza, is looking like the finish. Mark DeSenza powers through the outside, doesn't panic. Still, he's got them all over. They're not saving tires now, folks. Last lap, best lap for Dan Irvine, 31:06. That's his best lap of the race. Let's go through the field. Looking up, Matt Watkins, 30.3. 30.3 for Rick Johnson. 30.2 for Mark DeSenza. They're all in the mail now. Come on.
In fact, on that last lap, we had Ryan Johnson turn the fastest lap of the night, 29.862.
Temper your aggression here, though, because we see what Tire Day can do in 10 laps. You can lose a half a second. You burn that right front up, you can lose more than that. You can lose the race. Oh, yeah, I gotta get another beer. I'll be right back.
Well, hurry up. This thing's almost over, man. Yeah, Jordan McGregor and Slim Jim Gately just can't seem to make anything happen back where they are. They are 8th and 9th right now. Chasing down Steve Weber and Ryan Johnson, but this lead group, the top 5, are starting to pull away. And Rick Johnson just looking for any run he can get on the 3. Can't quite get there before turn 3.
Rick Johnson still over the back of the 3 car. This is vintage Mark DeSenza. We've seen him for, I think, 2 or 3 seasons in a row be in this position, and you know, that heart is pumping, and God bless him, man. I'm so glad he's... You don't drive like this if you're not feeling better, and that's a great sign. Ultimately, we're all friends, and we've known each other for a long time, and that car is humming. Mark DeSenza has not been able to show you what he's got this year, but this ain't over. The 52, analytical, smart, counting down the laps, coming up on 5 to go.
You know, what's Matt Watkins got left in the tank? Does he have damage? Is he keeping his tires cool, watching these guys battle in front of him and looking to pounce at the last second?
30.280 for the leader. 30.250 for Rick Johnson. Hundreds of seconds here. 30.236 for Matt Watkins. That car is obviously, that answers the question. He dodged the bullet, and that car is still strong. Dan Irvine, we saw him persevere. Here comes the 10 of Dennis Chambers trying to take a look. He can't make it work. But that's what you want to do coming out of turn 2 there. Even if you don't make it successful, you're in that guy's mind. Your spotter's telling you, and your mirror's telling you, here he comes. But they lose a car length. Matt Watkins taking a look at Rick Johnson. Can't get there. This is all in the 3's favor here, especially the way he's running tonight. This is vintage Mark DeSenza. These guys are going, okay, he's back.
Yeah.
That's the guy I remember. And he's a cool customer. He's methodical. Rick Johnson gets about a half a car length on him. Coming up to the last lap.
Coming to the white flag here.
White flag, excuse me. Same thing, last lap.
Yeah.
White flag. The 3 car is on rails. One more lap, one more pass for him to go. From Heart Attack to Winter Lane. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Rick Johnson.
Rick Johnson's got nothing for him. And
Now
Might
Matt
lose second
Watkins is
place
going
to
to
Matt
take a
Watkins
look
here.
now.
Nope. Can't quite get there. And there's a wreck. There's a wreck on the front stretch.
This will go back to, okay, we got a wreck in the front stretch.
And turn 3 and 4. They're knocking each other around all over the track, but
And
Mark
that is your
DeSenza.
winner, Mark DeSenza. Heck yeah, man.
Oh, that's the
How
comeback
about
story of the
that?
season.
Mama, there goes that man. The Rocket Man. Mark DeSenza back on top. Great finish.
Let's
Steve
see here what
Weber.
happened with the 9 car. Coming to that white flag. Oh, he got into our in-race reporter there, Dan Jones, coming off of 4.
Yeah, I thought
Or was that 2? That was okay. That was actually 2.
I thought it was actually going to finish the race without having that happen.
Rick Johnson could not make it happen.
Yeah, it's a tight track around here. Having that
Personal best, though. Personal best tonight. This awesome setup.
This is a great. Absolutely.
Oh, and big wreck there. Watching it on delay. Driving in sideways. Got to go for it. Obviously not what the 9 wanted to do, but
Dave Simons drives it back to the garage. See there. Very, very tidy.
how about that? Great car. Look, it's been a while since he's won on Friday night, and going through what he's gone through. Car's going off into the already Dave Simon's going out there partying with the fans. You know, I mean, you have fun, man. I mean, look at this show they put on tonight. They do it every week, and there it is. Mark DeSenza, your winner.
And Mark DeSenza, 89 laps led. Picks up the win. Rick Johnson, Matt Watkins, Dan Irvine, Dennis Chambers rounding out your top 5. Steve Weber quietly slips in there in the 6th spot. Excellent run for the 83. Ryan Johnson holds on for 7th. Jordan McGregor, Rick Bisconer picked up a spot on that last lap. Rounds out your top 10 with Slim Jim Gately in 10th, rather. So, Milty, I believe, is going to go round up our podium finishers here.
Yes, sir.
And so yeah, Dan, you ended up there in the 14th spot actually. Last
Still,
car
not
in
too
lead
bad.
lap, but you still finished it. That's what
I
counts
finished.
for
Yeah,
Darlington, huh?
Had to park my car here a lot.
Well, you
No.
take your victories anywhere you can get them, right?
Well, get better. You just keep practicing, right?
Yeah, exactly. You get the track time, get the experience at a place like this is everything.
No, I don't hate this track.
It's one of my favorites. I know I've mentioned that before.
Yeah, what'd you do on Tuesday night here?
I was 5 laps from winning it, and left side of my car ended up in the wall. And we'll just leave it at that.
Bummer.
So, looking up again at the points coming into the night, up on the screen there, Bill Yarbrough is your points leader. Rick Johnson should have himself a great points night there, coming in second. Couldn't quite get the lap lead bonus, but the second place run with Bill Yarbrough retiring early, that should very easily propel the 52 car to the point lead. Slim Jim Gately didn't quite have the points night he was looking for.
Good one, Mark.
And we have our race winner. Oh, I was looking for something here. Hold on. There we go.
and racing suits here.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback. Mark DeSenza, DeRocket, back in victory lane. Great run tonight, buddy.
Heart attack to victory lane. I'm just so glad you're alive, bro. You know, I've known you for like 16 years, man. I mean, and you put it on tonight, dude. You look like you're back in form.
Well, I don't know if it looked easy, but it wasn't.
It's
I did
never
have
easy
a
at this
little-
place.
Well, these guys are pretty good. You know?
I did have some damage. Basically, was just losing straightaway speed a little bit. I wasn't sure if I could hold Rick and Matt off there, but really handled pretty good. It's just a little bit of straightaway speed. But other than that, being out front was really key. Being behind somebody was hard to get a run on them, even if you were a little faster. So, but other
Yeah,
than
we
that,
seen
good
that.
run.
We seen that with you in the lead, and then when Matt was in the lead, nobody could touch him. And but Matt, man,
I was just staying
Wow.
behind him. No, no, but clean air was definitely key.
Matt had just come out of turn 4 there, and uncharacteristically found the wall there. Had to make your sticker picker.
Oh yeah. First off, gotta say sorry to Slim. Yeah, caught that corner just a little too high, and I gassed it. Thought it was good. Thought the wheels had caught, and as soon as I gassed it, man, it just shot to the bottom. And then I tried to just hopefully spin out the way of everybody, but couldn't do it. And then you saw the result of that. So I think I'm gonna become Arthur and write how to give away Friday night races. I'm getting very good at it this season.
Well,
Yeah.
the first thing I said was, I go, you know what? I guarantee this guy is pissed right now.
Yeah, we've all had the wall glue at Darlington before. This is one of the worst tracks for
He's
it.
gonna
So.
drive the living crap out of this car right now.
Yeah, I didn't mind seeing him spin there.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I don't mean that in a mean way, but
You know what? Yep, he's back, folks. He's back. That's vintage Mark right there.
Well,
Yeah, Mark
exactly.
did a hell of a job, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Darlington, Rick Johnson there was just closing in. Couldn't make the deal there, Rick. Man, so close, but yet so far.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Hey, first I want to say congrats to Mark. Don't let him fool you because he had no damage at all.
Sure didn't look like it.
No, he didn't have any damage.
Oh, he had the right side of his
bro.
car knocked in at one point. He definitely had damage. I saw
yeah, I
it.
hit the wall pretty good. Not a lot of damage. It took me 2 stops to fix it, but I just lost a little bit of straightaway speed.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it was
you
just
guys nailed those pit stops. I mean, it was so competition throughout,
Which
on
is
the
unusual
track
for
and
me.
on the track was, and off the track in the pits was crazy, man.
Yeah, like some guys said, it was just so hard to pass. I mean, normally you go into a tire saving mode at Darlington, but you really couldn't do that because if you fell back, there was just no way you're going to get them spots back.
If I was behind Rick or Matt, I probably wouldn't have got by neither one of them either.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just, like I said, being out front was real. Rick had got under me one time, and I just held it because if he gets by me, it's over. I'll never get back by him.
It seemed like at the restarts, the guy that was in second, and it happened several times with different guys in the lead, had that one chance. And then after that, it was back in, unless you were looking at long runs. And Rick, I was talking about Rick and how great he is in long runs, but the long run didn't come at the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
I finally beat Matt Watkins, Rick Johnson.
Oh man,
Hey, that's
I still got
saying
like
something.
trophies, and I got like stuff on my wall. I lost to Matt Watkins like 100 times, but the one time I beat him, I have to
Would you
mention
do
that
wreck him?
every time on the. No, I actually outgassed him, and just kept saying, I can't believe Milt didn't run out of gas.
Well, with the competition here, you make kind of one mistake, and it's hard really to make it up, especially at a track like this where
Oh,
if you
yeah.
fall a little behind, like I said, you can be faster than the guy in front of you, and if he's running consistent enough, it's really hard to get a good run before you go into the next corner. And no matter what corner you go into, you don't want to go in side by side, really.
The only thing you
Well-
got to hope for is for somebody to spin out and take Slim out. So you gotta-
Yeah. Oh, that was all right. Slim had a fast car, so I was.
Well, you know that
I'll mail
happens.
Matt $20 for that one.
'Cause he was coming.
It's getting
Slim
thick in here,
Jim was,
folks.
and Mom Doris says he loves him, but he's not on the podium tonight. But Mark, you know, I mean, you've been through a lot here lately, and watching you run, and tonight it was like I was listening to the drivers' meeting. I'm like, this guy's pumped up tonight, man. He's talking, and I go, I have a feeling that I did pick the 52 though. So
Of course you did.
I
Well,
had Matt.
that's why I won.
So there we go. The broadcaster jinx. They're still on the podium here. We're still talking to them. They didn't wreck out, so that's not a broadcaster jinx. That's
Well,
my rule, and I just made it up.
it was vintage Mark DeCenza. We've seen him win multiple championships. It's just so glad to see you being healthy and getting that, being able to run at what we know you're capable of. And like I was saying in the broadcast over and over, these guys have got to be going, uh-oh.
Well, physically, last week or so, I've just been able to be physically finish a race. And I knew this was going to be a big task. This track is tough.
Right, right.
But I just want to also say last night, Shawn made one hell of a save in a truck. I kind of got into him a little, and I don't know how he saved it, but that
Stab and
was one hell of
steer.
a yeah, that was one hell of a
He's
save.
He's pretty good. He's just
Yeah,
not
no doubt.
a broadcaster and director. Dude can drive.
Absolutely.
I got a couple of those Winston Cups on the shelf. I did okay in this series.
Absolutely.
But thanks, Mark. Yeah, that was stab and steer and hope it sticks, and it sure did.
I actually thought you were crashing. I'm like, oh my god, he saved that. I was gonna type nice save, but I probably would have wrecked.
You don't want to type there. We were running Las Vegas.
So us old guys, we can't type and drive.
We were running Las Vegas 2014 last night, and if you haven't run that track before, it is really fast, and you end up in big packs and lots of stuff like that going on. But yeah, that was a lot of fun there. Didn't get the finish I was looking for, but it was still a good run there. I think we're gonna run that. We're gonna run that this season. Let's see what our schedule ahead is. Yeah, I did update the points. We got talking so much, I didn't get to talk about it here. Rick Johnson,
Billy Arbrough could not finish. He ran one lap, but that changes everything.
That moves Rick Johnson to the points lead by 5.
Points. 0, 5, 5, 8, 9, 15, 23. Are you kidding me? Any one of these guys can win this championship still.
I also want to apologize to my other teammate, Jordan. I kind of passed him, and maybe not in the greatest spot. I didn't get into him, but he got a little high and got into the wall there. Or he would have a strong car. He didn't have nothing for me anyway.
Yeah,
I just want to apologize.
We were
No, he probably did.
That,
he had a great car.
And the thing was that you had him beat, and he was trying to get out of the way, and he just tried to get out of the way a little too much. It was, I mean, it was nothing.
He was actually letting me by there, but it kind of was a tough spot, and it just sucked him right into the wall.
Yeah, again, the wall blew.
Welcome to South Carolina.
It's possible he would have been second, third, or fourth. If that didn't happen, he would have been second, third, or fourth, maybe.
All right,
welcome to South Carolina.
So we're wrapping this up here, folks. Again, thanks for joining us up here. Our podium finishers, Rick Johnson, Matt Watkins, and Mark DeCenza, your race winner. And your new points leader, Rick Johnson. Again, Billy Arbrough's 5 points back, drops to second. Dennis Chambers, good points tonight for him, moves up to also 5 points back, tied for second there. Jordan McGregor, 8 back, and Slim Jim Gately, 9 points back. That's your top 5. Dan Irvine still only 15 points back in sixth spot. So this is wide open.
How many more races we got?
We have 4 more races left. 4 more. Next up is Hattiesburg, the fictional track. Very interesting track. We didn't get a chance to broadcast that last time because I was at a wedding.
That's sort of like a Rockingham?
It's a little bit like a Rockingham, a little bit like a couple other places. It's got a very interesting front stretch with a flat bend in it.
I got I got to work at nights. So
yeah, that's on March 6th. Then followed by New Hampshire.
We'll see. Hopefully I can make it.
Yeah, followed by New Hampshire, which is one of my absolute worst tracks. I wouldn't mind bulldozing that place. Homestead, the current version, the 2013 Banked Night Homestead. And then we're going to wrap up the season March 27th, my dad's birthday, at Indianapolis.
Oh,
Wow.
that'll be tough.
That's a way. Hey, you know what? That guy that won tonight, Mark DeSiza, he's pretty good at Indy. I'm just
He's good at all four of those.
Pretty good.
Oh,
Bill.
he gets close.
That's another one, though. I
watch
think
out.
clean air is going to be big at the end.
Yeah, it's real tough to make
Oh, yeah.
passes by yourself at Indy.
Dude knows how to qualify P1. So, you know what? I'm picking Mark DeSiza for Indy
Oh,
already.
God. I'm not even showing
Oh my
up
God, a
now.
month out. And he's
Not even showing up.
Oh. All right, folks. Again, thanks for joining us up here.
Great
Thanks
job, guys.
as always, Milt, my
Yep. Thanks
partner
to
in
you
the
guys,
booth.
too. Good job.
Our in-race reporter, Dan Jones. He's still hanging around there. Thank you, Dan, for taking some
Welcome.
time out of the race. Our league admin, Ryan Johnson, again, the hardest working admin in FSB. He keeps this circus running every Friday night. He stays on top of those reviews and keeps these guys in line.
Great
So thanks
driver
that.
meeting
Yeah,
tonight.
and he's out there. He's eighth in the points right
to get in
now.
the car,
He can wheel it, and then he can run the show. So thanks, Ryan Johnson, our series sponsor, Farm Brothers Contracting, Bill Farmer. Thanks for putting up the hardware these guys are racing for. And of course, our league promoter and owner, Sam Young. Thanks for all you do to keep this ship afloat, and thanks for all of you joining us out there on YouTube tonight.
Professional sim racing at its best.
For FSB Racing Live, I'm Shawn Reap saying good night, and see you guys next week.